week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, recruiting in yoga pants. This was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So for those wondering, where is she? Why does she sound weird? I am currently on a cruise ship in Alaska. We have docked at beautiful Ketchikan, Alaska, right behind me. So we'll be getting off the boat here shortly and doing a little bit of exploring. But I wanted to keep the videos coming. I joked with my husband about doing it from the boat, and here we are. I'm actually doing it from the boat. So, but this week, I know most of my audience is job seekers, and I appreciate you coming back every week for tips and tricks and a recruiter's viewpoint into this whole crazy hiring process, everything from applications to resumes to interviews to offers. And this week is still for my job seeking community. This is the first vacation I've taken in at least 2, if not 3 years. It is also the first vacation in probably 15 years that I haven't responded to a work email. I might have just looked once, but I didn't respond to anything. But I realized something that I wanted to pass along to you, my beloved job seeking community. And you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm just gonna ask you to just hear me out, because this is important and this is a lesson I wish somebody had pulled me aside and yelled in my ear as well. Take time away. This 5 days we've been out on this boat, we've got one more full day at sea tomorrow, and then we're home Saturday. Recording on a Thursday, obviously. But this week away has been so refreshing and so grounding. I feel like I'm gonna come back home and be a better employee, and I'm gonna be a better wife to my amazing husband who's put up with me on this trip. I'm gonna be a better mom to my kids, who obviously stayed home, and so props to my oldest daughter. Thank you so much for holding down the fort with the dogs and your sister and brother. I appreciate you. And this week away, I needed it so badly, y'all. More than I thought I did. And I'm grateful to my in-laws for bringing us along. I'm grateful to my work colleagues, especially Steph, who covered for me. Thanks for closing that offer. I saw that one. And I didn't think I was gonna cry through this, but it's been so cathartic, y'all. And so my job seeking community, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, especially if you're unemployed or underemployed, how am I supposed to do that, Ames? How am I supposed to take time off? There's no way. You don't understand. I don't have any money. I don't have any resources. And I get that. And I've been there. And I've been there. And I will say this, especially in job search mode, I was unemployed for a pretty lengthy stretch of time several years back, as many of you know. And every waking moment was focused on getting to the next thing. I was the breadwinner in my household. I had small kids. I felt like in a lot of ways it was all on me, which wasn't fair. Shouldn't have felt that way, but I did, because that's my toxic trait. But I am convinced that I missed out on opportunities because I didn't allow myself time to breathe and decompress and rest. And if I could go back and talk to that young woman who was crying her eyes out every night and wondering if she was going to have a roof over her head the next month and wondering what her kids were going to eat, I would have told her, take a walk. Go volunteer at a nursing home, an animal shelter, a soup kitchen. Go do something for someone else, but also do something for yourself. Because I know in my heart of hearts that I was not my best self going to some of these interviews. And I was not fully focused on the right activities because I felt like, with the duck on top of the water looks so calm and placid, but underneath the feet are just going like this. And that was me in my job search. And that was me trying to figure out how to solve all the world's problems from my position of being broke, unemployed. take your time off. Even if it's just an hour, even if it's just a day, you don't have to go anywhere. Although Alaska is beautiful. If you can make the trip, I highly recommend. But take your time off. So that's the first big idea. There's two things I want to share with you this week. One is the idea that you have to take a break. Humans are not wired to go 24/7 at full speed all the time. You have to rest. So take your time off, even if it's just a 1 hour walk around the block once a week, even if it's just a play date with the neighbor's kids, whatever it is, carve out that time that is just for you to leave all the noise and the pressure and the effort and everything that's looming over you. Leave it behind. And the second thing, take help. I mentioned my in-laws, my amazing in-laws, Vicki and Jim, who helped pay for this trip. They invited us along, and it was so sweet of them. We're so grateful that they helped us out with this trip, and we've just really enjoyed being with them and knowing that it's okay to rely on our parents even at this age. And we're damn near 50. But to allow them to help us kind of alleviate some of the stress of being away. My oldest daughter, who is home with her brother and sister and the dogs, taking on the household while we're gone and basically staying at our house for a week, leaving her own apartment, and making arrangements to work from home for a week so that she could hold down the fort for us. Without that kind of help, we couldn't have made this trip. We couldn't have done this. And it's hard for me as a, very old school, traditional Gen X latchkey kid. I don't accept help very well. But I'm so glad that I did, because it allowed me this week to decompress and relax. So that's the second thing that I want you to do as well. Accept help. I know when I was in job search mode, I had to do it myself because, I was a professional recruiter and I know how this stuff works and I know what to do, and you can't tell me what to do and you can't help me and you can't give me advice. And it wasn't so much that I was a know-it-all. It's that I didn't want people to know how scared I was. I didn't want people to see how much I needed help. So if you're a job seeker and you're struggling with this, or you're not sure where to turn, or you have questions, I hope you find some of those answers in these weekly videos. I hope that you're able to get some direction and some context that you maybe didn't have before you started watching. And I hope that you are reaching out to your friends and families and people who care about you for their guidance, for their advice, for their listening ears. It takes a village. It takes a village, y'all. I say this every time we make a hire. We always do the congrats and yay and thanks Amy for closing them and thanks this person for interviewing and thanks that person for doing the thing. And I always say it takes a village, right? None of us are doing this on our own. None of us are doing this in a vacuum, and your job search is no different. So connect with like-minded folks, connect with people like me who can help you navigate this crazy job search waters, and take your time off. All right, even if it's just an hour, even if it's just a walk around the block, fresh air, decompress, put this stuff out of your mind for just a minute so that you can come back to your job search fully refreshed and renewed and ready to get your dream job. Questions, comments, drop them down below. I read them all, and we will see you next week.